Was there any protocol before you left? Were they checking people heading out, or they didn't care who was leaving? They only cared about who was arriving. And when you arrived, then was there any protocol at that time for people who were arriving?
Let me tell you, this is one of the things. We'll get into this, no doubt. This is going in the direction of comparing U.S. response and situation and lessons we could have learned. They're taking it seriously. China was taking this seriously from the beginning. They learned a lot of lessons from SARS. Yes, there were issues early on, and again, that's probably a different part of the conversation. Your question was, were they taking precautions? Absolutely.
Outgoing
Um,
precautions. I mean,
Outgoing precautions everywhere. Yes, yes, yes. And so I left the apartment, and I had like 3 or 4 masks with me. That's all I had. The one that I kept with me, I got my Yoli mask,
oh,
which
really?
is your yeah, that's what I've been it's an education. You can say what Yoli is. But
Yeah, I'll
I
get into that maybe.
yeah, get into that. But yeah, so I have my Yoli nice mask, but then I had some other just surgical masks that my girlfriend got me, gave me a few.
Which are
And so
effective. They
from
work
the
too. They work as well.
yeah, that's
N95
it's kind of what I
surgical
had.
masks, they keep the particles at least from getting too far out of your own mouth, and that's a sort of herd immunity helper in a sense.
Right, right. And so I was from the moment I left my apartment, and yeah, and I had what I had at the time was a full small travel thing, a hand sanitizer, but I had that, um, and some different wipes, some of these medicated sterilizing wipes.
Yeah.
And so I masked, and I had my winter gloves. I didn't have surgical gloves, but I had my winter. It was cold, it's freezing anyway, so I had my winter gloves. So masked, gloved from the moment I left my house until I got into Larry's car at San Francisco Airport, with the exception of having to take off a glove or two
So
to
you were
deal
on a
with
15-hour
passport,
flight
having
like
to
this,
pull my
basically.
pull my mask down for security, or checking me out, make sure it was me. Yeah, it was like a 13 hours of actual flight plus few hours in the air. I mean, I
Mm.
went early, of course, so 3 hours in the airport, and it took a
Everybody else on the
while
plane
on
was the
this.
same?
So every single person, it was a sold out flight. There had been something keyed in on United's end wrong when they got my ticket. So I get to the airport, and my reservation is for like 2 weeks later.
Mm.
They had screwed it up on the United end. So, oh my God, call
Classic.
California, fix it, fix it, fix it. I got the last seat on the plane.
Wow.
And amazingly, it was still an aisle. Those normally go fast, and I like an aisle so I can, do my thing as needed. But more importantly,
You're in the aisle though. You gotta you
got
gotta
on the
get
plane.
out of the seat to let other people go to the bathroom all the time, depending on where
But
you are.
that's but if I'm sucked against the window, then me and my middle-aged bladder have to constantly excuse myself, and people tend to. I don't sleep on those flights, but everybody else does, and so I didn't want to have to try to
Right.
crawl over sleeping people. Anyway, learning a lot about me. But so everyone I saw, everyone in the airport, every DD or taxi driver, everybody working at it, masks. Every human had a mask on the plane. Sold out 777. Everyone's masked. A lot of people are gloved. The flight attendants were gloved,
Mm.
and some of them were either they had eyeglasses like I'm wearing, or they had goggles.
Were they doing
Few
temperature?
didn't,
Were
but
they doing
most.
temperatures yet? No.
So I skipped that. So I was just trying to paint the picture of the PPE that they were deploying. But yeah, so check in at the the check in for the flight got from that through um, to the train to security. And if the Beijing airport, for people, it's like you go through a tram system to get to the point where then you go
Mm.
through like immigration on the in or outbound. So when I got there
It's a
off the
good
tram,
train. It's a nice train.
it's a great train. They really have it figured out. I
There
haven't
is.
been to that
I've
new
never had a
airport, but
better getting to the airport experience. It's very seamless.
yep.
Subway, train, wherever you want to
Yeah,
go. Very easy.
it's really dialed in. Yeah, they have that Airport Express train that you can do if it is convenient.
Yeah.
But I DD'd this time. I DD'd just straight away. I wasn't gonna screw around with the train. I did have the time.
Right.
It's like I need to go. So anyway, yeah. So they did. So getting off the train, heading towards security, and they had um, normally there's this temperature check thing, and it's just it's like a heat sensing cameras up on a
Yeah,
pole, and you just
the
kind of walk
person
by.
sitting there on the by the counter usually,
they're
right? And
they're normally
they're not
sort
even
of, yeah.
right. They're not
there's
paying
there's a
attention.
screen here. If
Yeah.
you're looking at this on the video, then yeah, it's sort of like this screen here is the screen where it's got like the readout, and they're usually sitting here on WeChat or like half asleep. It's like one person. This time, let me tell you,
Yeah.
this was like, I don't even know the good analogy, just to say that there were two lines to go through. Each line had six people at the head of it, like six officials. Everybody was in hazmat suits, full suits,
Jesus.
everything. There were two people who were there to check you handed your passport and boarding pass too. And so there were two of them. And so one person looked, then the other person looked. And of course they're wearing gloves, so they're taking
And
your stuff.
they're watching the screen. Like,
Not even that. Not even what I'm saying is this is 50 feet away from that.
oh,
Like,
okay.
you
So
get off the
that's
train,
step one.
and as soon as
Mm.
you get off, step one is present your documents. Then so there's like on either, so there's a lane that's made with three people per side, and there was two of those. There were 12 people total, so two people to check and double check your passport and your ticket. Two people to check your temperature. One person checked it, then the other person had a different scanner that they point at your face and check it. Then there were two
was that the
security
personal one? Because there's
guys.
the big screen, the monitor, and then there's the
Yeah,
beeper that they do
this
on your
was
forehead.
handheld. This was
Mm.
handheld. This
Yeah.
is what I'm saying. They had two people with this handheld thing. So two people did a temp check,
Mm.
and then they showed to each other, like to show the readout, I guess, in case maybe one person's gun is off. And then there's two security guards with their hand on their gun, in case anybody, I don't know what they think they're gonna do, run through and get on the
Well,
plane. But
for people listening
know,
who have no background in this, I mean, when you were going through this process, does this feel to you, because someone looking at this from the sort of American perspective would say, wow, that is a very, big brotherian and a little bit over the top and extreme. And does it feel that way as you're going through it, or are you thinking this is China? I've done this 1,000 times, nothing special.
yeah, yeah. I was definitely in a version of the latter camp. I mean, I chafe under a lot of the restrictions, although I don't personally suffer. I mean, like I philosophically chafe at some things. My
Right.
day-to-day life's pretty smooth over there.
Armchair
Certain things I
chafing.
can. Hey, there you go. That's a good one. I need some arm covers from my easy chair in
Yeah.
Beijing.
So you
I'll
don't
get to
chafe.
that. That's low. I can put that lower on the priority list for a while, since I won't see that chair for probably 4 or 5
And the
months.
head of lettuce in your
But
freezer.
and the head of lettuce. Oh God, yeah. I'm gonna have to figure out getting somebody in there to get a few things out. Because
Live stream
yeah,
it.
at certain points, oh my God, I don't want to see that.
The
Make me
the
sad.
vegetables will have grown into sort of mutants, and it'll be a horror film.